So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can migrate your existing Elementor sites over to cloud storage using Media Cloud, and how to work or how to get the two plugins working together. For the most part, working with Media Cloud and Elementor is transparent, but there are a few things that you should probably know that could be helpful for you. So on this site, it's a blank site. There's no posts, no pages. I have Media Cloud activated, but none of the features turned on, because what I want to do is set up a basic Elementor site and then show you how that migration process works. I have Elementor installed, and we have Anywhere Elementor Pro installed as well, so I'm going to show you that quickly too. So the first thing first, let's get some media into our site. And again, this is without Media Cloud, so I'm just uploading this media straight to my WordPress site. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a generic post. I'm going to use lorem ipsum for that. First post, paste that. Let me set a featured image. And then publish that. So we're going to use this first post just to see how Anywhere Elementor fits into this equation here. I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to create some Elementor pages. Set that to full width. I'm going to edit that with Elementor. And I'm just going to import some of the Pro pages here. Oh, this is a pretty good one to insert. And I'll publish that. And I'm going to make another new page. And again, I'm just going to import some pages here. And this is a pretty good one. Travel gallery. And then we're just going to do one last page. Let's do this one. Okay, so we have our 3 pages based off of Elementor's template pages. And then we're just gonna add a new one so that it can show you some sort of specific things. So for this, I just want to show you the big gotcha with Elementor and Media Cloud is when you do these background images, which are a pretty popular thing to do with Elementor. So I'm just going to take and grab just any landscape photo. There's got to be one. There we go. So these kind of background images are done using CSS. And then when Elementor generates that post CSS file, it's embedded in there. And when you migrate all your media to cloud storage and those URLs change, Elementor is actually pretty good about updating image URLs. But for some reason, even if you clear the cache, it refuses to update these background CSS image URLs. So I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with that. And then I'm just going to throw in a few other things so that we can just see how media is handled. Just one more thing. The carousel is typically a pretty good, or not the carousel, the flip box. And again, this is more CSS stuff, right? Okay, so this is good enough. This will show what I needed to show. And now we'll go back to our dashboard. And then we can view all these pages. This is our media page that we just built. This is our sample page that we imported. This is our other sample page, and then this is our other sample page as well. So the next thing is Anywhere Elementor Pro. So we're just going to create a template for posts. So we're just going to add a new one. Give it a name. Spell it right. We're going to do post template. Post, auto apply, make sure we're full width. Actually, I'm going to publish this quick, edit this. And I'm just going to use the AE widgets for this. And this isn't a masterclass in design. It's just to quickly get this stuff in here. Actually, let's just use this heading for the post title. And what we're going to do for this is normally you would use the featured image for the background. You know, you'd use this, but we're going to pick one here, because we've decided that we want pictures of France. Right. Here we can set this to the post title. All right, and then we're gonna add another section here. And now we're gonna use, where'd you go? There it is. So this is good enough. Again, not a master class. I just wanted to show you that this indeed does work with the Anywhere Elementor stuff. So we'll update this, and then we'll exit to the dashboard, and then we'll go to our posts here, and voila, looking good. Okay, so there's our Elementor site. It's working great. We've got all this content. Now what I want to do is migrate all this media to Media Cloud. And if you've seen the other videos, this should be familiar. So I'm going to turn on cloud storage. Then I'm going to come here to migrate to cloud. And then I'm just going to start migrating. Okay, so everything's migrated. We can verify this by coming in here, making sure we got all these clouds here. Doing good. Now, when you do the migrate to cloud, Media Cloud does not delete those media files. And that is a conscious choice, just in case something goes wrong, your original media files aren't touched. But for this demo, I want to clean uploads, which will delete those media files so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so all those files have been deleted. I am going to come into Elementor here. I'm going to clear out those CSS. We're going to come in here and reload. So, as I mentioned before, Elementor does a good job for most things in terms of swapping out the correct image URLs. But for these kind of things where it's using the CSS property to show the image, it's no good. So if I show page source here and I look at images, you'll see this is all coming off of Oz, but these are not, because these are pointing to our local server, but I just deleted those images. So even though they migrated, so they're gone. So same here. When I reload this, you see we lose a lot of images. As well as here. We lose a lot of images. And then here we lose our header image. So to get this stuff back, we've got to run a task in Media Cloud called Update Elementor. And what this does is it goes through and it does a URL replacement in the database. So it's very important that when you run this the first time, back up your database. You should always be backing up your database anytime you install a plugin. That's going to have a big impact on how your site works. It's just common sense. You would be surprised in our support emails how many people do not back up their database on the regular. It's crazy. So always back up your database, always, before you run this task for the first time. You run this a few times and you get comfortable with it, you don't have to do that as much, if at all. But the very first time you run this, please back up your database. So all I got to do is click on this button, and it should be a very fast process at this point. Like very fast. And now I come in here. Got all my stuff back. Everything is coming from Amazon. And that's it. So you might wonder, when should I run this? It lists the 3 times that you should do this. You should run it when you migrate to the cloud, when you first move your media library over to cloud storage. The second time you do it is when you import media from the cloud. And then the only other time that you should really run this thing is if you change Media Cloud in some way that the URLs will change. So if I come in here and decide that I want to use Imgix, or is it Imgix? Their name's very hard to pronounce. Imgix. So I'm going to come into Imgix. I'm going to turn this on. And enable Imgix. Now I'm going to direct uploads and the crop tool. So I'm going to save this here. And I'm going to reload. So we're not missing any images, because remember, these are coming from Oz, but we want everything to come from Imgix. So you'll see these two jellyfish images are coming from Oz, but we really want those from Imgix. And it's going to be the same deal on all these pages, this one in particular. So it looks good, but our images, not all of our images are coming from Imgix. So that's when we want to come back in and run this. So we'll just run this again. That runs. And now everything will be from Imgix. No Oz anymore. Where's the big one? There we go. So that in a nutshell is how you use Media Cloud with Elementor. At this point, once you've migrated your site, it's completely transparent. You won't have to think about Media Cloud again, hopefully. It should just be transparent, just like you're using media normally with WordPress. So any questions, open up a support ticket. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.